Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the Better Call Saul React and Review for episode 6, titled 5-0. I'm Greg, this is Q, together we're Mr. Happy 0121. Welcome to the big channel, the Mr. Dark channel, if you will.
That's right.
That's it. We are going to try to get through this episode in less than 18 minutes today. Try to shorten it up a little bit for you guys. So we're going to get right into the episode. Begins with a flashback. Mike at a train station, meeting his daughter-in-law. At this point, he's sitting in a train station. We figure out it's a flashback, just how we do. Mike goes into the restroom. He starts by going into the women's room and buying a big maxi pad.
That's right.
At which point, you and I both knew that he was somewhere on his body gunshot. You had picked up when he was sitting on the bench that he was feeling his chest unnecessarily. So yeah, he then goes into the men's room, puts the maxi pad on his bullet wound, because we all know from watching TV that that'll do it. That'll fix it right up.
That'll hold you until you get to your vet.
That's right. We made mention of that at some point too. That was. This show isn't very often that I'm going to pick at it, but this was like every movie trope all rolled up into one. Maxi pad for the bullet wound, right to the vet to get sewed up.
Well, I mean, come on. If you're a vet and some guy came in and gave you $500 to sew him up, wouldn't you?
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not picking on it. It just was a little, it felt like I've seen that before on a show.
A little too cliche for...
A little cliche. There's the word I was fishing for. Okay, at that point, he then leaves the bus station. He hasn't got sewed up yet. He just has a maxi pad on his arm. We go to Mike and Stacy. This is the daughter-in-law's name. I actually got a name right. Having a conversation in the backyard about the night that Matty, his son, died. He was on the phone having an argument with someone, loudly, and Stacy believed that he was arguing with Mike. At this point, Mike denied it. Stacy shut him down and booted him out.
That's right.
She told Mike at this point that she needed to make her daughter dinner, and it was time for her daughter's bed, when it was still clearly daylight outside. And even later when they show Mike out front waiting on a taxi, it's still daylight. So Stacy wasn't having any of this.
No, she wasn't.
Next, we go to the scene of Mike going to the vet and getting sewn up. And the vet, the most well-connected vet in town,
That's right.
told Mike that if he was interested in any work, the vet knew people.
And the vet had Vicodin or something like that?
Yeah, he had like the animal equivalent.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good for the vet.
Mike turned him down. We now get to the point where we say, we told you so. At the end of last week's show, we told you guys we felt the cops were from Philadelphia. Guess what?
They were.
They were. Mike is in the police station, in a holding cell, somewhere. They don't really make it clear where. He only wants a lawyer. That's all he says. The police try to question him. He keeps saying lawyer. Finally, at which point they ask him, does he have a lawyer? And he slides across a Saul Goodman card, or in this case,
James McGill.
James McGill. So, we see Saul at the courthouse, and there's a very big callback to last episode when he learns to dress like Matlock.
Yeah.
When one of the police make mention of the fact that he looks like a young Matlock. I found that kind of humorous.
He did.
I really did. I laugh at the weirdest things. So now we go into Mike and Saul in the holding cell making plans. Mike only called Saul there, and yes, I'm calling him Saul instead of Jimmy just for convenience. It is,
Yeah.
the name of the show is Better Call Saul, not Better Call Jimmy. Basically, Mike called Saul there for the sole purpose of using him to spill coffee on one of the cops so Mike could get a notebook out of his pocket. Saul says he's not going to do that. Of course, we know that means he will do that eventually. But before that, Saul gets to hear the story of the two policemen, Huffman and Finsky, who turned up dead.
Great names,
Huffman and Finsky, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
And at this point, you and I already knew, without much input, that Huffman and Finsky had killed Matty. It just, you can kind of see these things coming from a mile away. So these two cops were with Mike's son in an ambush, and wonder of wonders, they lived...
An ambush at a trap house.
Yeah, crack house.
No, that's what a trap house is.
Right.
Keep up with the lingo.
They survived the ambush. without a scratch. The person that ambushed them got away, and yet poor Matt's dead. What a coincidence that was. I'm going to edit this down as we go.
All right.
So Huffman and Finsky were the only cops that were with Matt when he died. There were no other witnesses. The assailant got away. Suddenly, Huffman and Finsky turn up dead a few months later, and the police are there to question Mike about this. But basically, they dance around the idea that they think that he killed Huffman and Finsky. They won't come out and say it, but they do say things like, it was very convenient that you left town for Albuquerque the next day. You were in the bar where they were last seen. As you said, they were being very passive-aggressive. Anything to add to any of that?
Got nothing.
All right. So we then... Hold on. Don't worry.
One thing I was shocked about, I didn't think it'd be revealed that he killed them yet.
You thought it would be another
I thought
episode
it'd be
or two
later.
away?
Yeah, but no, they just went right ahead and ended the episode with him executing 2 pigs.
That was a bit harsh.
Okay.
What if we have people with police families?
Well, no. Well, when yeah, okay.
I'll cut all that out. Say it all again and leave the executing 2 pigs out.
Can I say swine? That's more respect now.
Crooked cops.
Yeah, crooked cops. All right.
Give it to me one more time. That was all good right until the end.
What did I say?
You didn't think that they were going to show him killing them so quickly.
You know, I didn't think... I knew he killed them. I didn't think they were going to show him killing the cops that soon. I really thought that was going to be a couple episodes later. But they went ahead and ended the episode with him executing those crooked police.
There you go. Hey,
Hey.
not all police are bad.
That's right.
Just those guys.
But the ones that are bad.
So, we then flash outside after the coffee spilled on the cops, on the cop. And I never got those 2 guys' name, and I hate to be that guy, but one was black, one was white. One was old, one was young. So the young white guy, one was fat, one was skinny. There's various ways I could dance around this. The young skinny white guy, not the fat old black guy, had coffee spilled on him, and Mike lifted out the little notebook full of notes, at which point he started going through them. One of the very cool things about the story sync that I'm always pimping on here is on the story sync you could go frame by frame and look at all the notes.
Yeah, that was cool.
So at which point, before we even got to the point where the 2 policemen, Huffman and Finsky, were killed, I knew that one was shot in the neck, then shot in the head, one took 2 in the chest. It was all there in that little piece of paper if you had the patience and the time to read through it. Speaking of which, the murder weapon that Mike used was a .38 caliber with the serial numbers filed off. It was a snub-nosed Taurus 856, for those of you keeping score at home.
That's right.
There's a needless fact for you, since nobody mixed a drink that I could give you a recipe for this week. All right, we then go from them sitting in the car looking through the notebook to the flashback of Mike being in the bar, acting drunk. I told you before we even got to this scene that was all a scam. He had acted like he had fallen on hard times and been a total drunk for all those months. And then when he was in the bar acting drunk, I said, he's not drunk, it's a scam. And I called it right. I'm sure a few people knew this was coming. He basically baited these cops into putting him in a car and taking him somewhere to kill him in a secluded area.
He's genius.
At which point he turned the tables and
That's right.
killed them.
Took them out.
Yeah, that was a fairly tense scene. Although it kind of takes the tenseness out of it, if that's a word, because you know that those 2 guys ended up dead, and you're seeing a flashback.
Yeah.
So you know Mike is going to come out at least pretty okay with a bullet hole. Present day, we go back to Mike arguing with Stacy, getting pretty heated about the fact that Matt was not a dirty cop.
That's right.
And again, at this point, I turned to you and I said, Matt wasn't a dirty cop, Mike was.
Yeah, he guessed it.
Yeah, so that was the whole thing. That's part of the reason maybe that Mike is such a morose person.
Morose.
Because basically,
That's a nice word.
he broke his son's spirit and his son still got killed. And so that's kind of, we ended the episode with him explaining all of this to Stacy and coming clean that basically he was a dirty cop. he corrupted his son, and then his son died anyway.
Well, at least he got to seek revenge, you know?
Yeah, for what that's worth, but, that doesn't bring your dead kid back that you ruined.
No, it doesn't.
That feels good for a minute. I don't even think that he took any joy in doing that. It didn't seem that he felt the least bit good about it. He just felt it was something that needed to be done. So, yeah, that was the episode. I think we went through that fairly quick. I don't know that there's a lot set in motion for the coming weeks. We saw the coming attraction. Next week, Jimmy's going to get a new office.
Good for Jimmy.
They're going to continue to try to hold Mike accountable for the deaths of the two policemen. And yeah, that's what's going on. I don't have any great wisdom to drop on you about this episode. I thought it was all pretty well laid out. They answered everything by the end of the episode about the episode.
You know, it'd be really cool if, like, on the story sync, each episode they pick out like a song that described the episode.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
Because we're too lazy to do that.
Yeah, we are extremely too lazy to do that.
Last week, you gave last week's episode a B, and I gave it a B-. I remember.
This one's an A. This was a pretty good episode.
I give this one a B+.
A B+?
A B+. I mean, when you're dealing with greatness, they can't all be the best. I'm giving this one a B+, which is an improvement over last week's. Next week's episode looks like it's going to go up even further a notch. So, an A and a B+ for this week. Here's a random question. If you could have back next, if you could pick between Badger or Skinny Pete to do a guest on Better Call Saul next, who would you pick?
Badger.
I'm a Skinny Pete guy.
Skinny Pete guy.
I love Skinny Pete. I don't even know why.
It's weird. You got a crush on him.
Because he's the best looking meth head on TV. Not that he looks good, but he genuinely looks like a meth head. And the story of that guy is fascinating. Like, go look at his Wikipedia page and read about Skinny Pete.
Okay.
He is fascinating. I told you,
Fascinating.
he's a classically trained pianist. The episode where
Yeah.
he's in the music store and he sits down at the piano and just starts playing.
Skinny Pete.
That is the actor doing it for real, for reals. So yeah, I'm a Skinny Pete guy. What was the overweight gentleman that died early on? The one that got shot by the kid on the street corner. Remember him?
Yeah. What was his name?
He was cool. Kid rolled up on a bike and blew him away.
I know. Something. I can't.
It was something.
Keep getting this close. Was it like? Hold on. Wait. I'm looking for it. Nothing. I don't have it.
Anyway, the overweight gentleman. Somebody out there screaming at their monitor going, "Ah!" They could bring that dude back. I remember enjoying him until he got shot.
He got blasted.
Yeah,
that was
he got
pretty
blasted.
harsh. I remember that episode.
I remember liking that dude a lot. That's all I got this week. We'll be back next week. Hopefully there will be more stuff for us to investigate. But this week I thought was pretty cut and dried. They were just kind of taking care of business. There was nothing there that I can see that we need to point to. No appearance of Chuck this week.
Oh, that's a good point. It was more of a Mike episode.
We were Chuckless.
Chuckless.
Nobody from the McGill Law Firm. Nothing. This was all Mike.
Just Mike and a little Saul.
A glimpse maybe of what the Better Call Mike show would have been like.
Better Call Mike.
Or Mike's gonna fix it.
Mike's gonna fix it.
You know, if this show hits hard enough,
Mike's gonna get his.
they could go do Mike and then flash him back. There's an idea. They could flash Mike back.
How long until Skinny Pete gets his show?
Well then, yeah, then they could just go back and then flash Badger back.
Maybe if it's that big, I doubt it though.
They could flash back the hefty dude that gets blown away. That would be the series finale.
It ends with him dying.
It'd be a mini-series. It'd be 13 episodes.
That's right.
I'd watch it.
You'd watch it?
Oh, hell yeah, I'd watch it. I'd be interested to know what was going on.
Kind of boring. I don't think he did much.
That's why it'd be great, because we don't know what he did.
That's a good point.
I mean, his interactions with Jesse and whatnot when we weren't watching could have been really wonderful.
Sure, it could have been.
The RV could get its own show.
Yeah, it could start with it being assembled in
Right.
a factory. And
Assembled and then crushed. The end, yeah. See, there's endless shows in the Breaking Bad universe. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week. I would watch the RV.
You would.
I would watch that show.
What about the cactus at the cook site? Is that